Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion. We are talking Dear Mama, episode 5, titled Until the End of Time. After attending a Tyson fight in Las Vegas, Tupac is shot and killed. Afeni is paralyzed with grief after the death of her son, but she still manages to secure Tupac's legacy, ensuring that their story is told and the struggle continues. Again, directed by Allen Hughes. Guys, this is the final episode, the season finale for this great documentary series that is on FX/Hulu. And if this is your first time joining me, I love it. I have the first 4 episodes recapped each on my channel. So if this is your first time here and you want to go check those out, you can feel free to do so. Also subscribe, leave a thumbs up, comment, help me reach my next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. And real quick, guys, before we get into the recap, great episode to finish off this series. If you look here, it says episode 5, Until the End of Time, 5/5/2023. I thought that episode 5 was coming out at the same time that episode 4 was last week, so I recapped them together. And a number of people in my comment section was like, Brandon, what's going on? I don't see episode 5. What are you doing? You're spoiling this, you're spoiling that. And I was like, I went here and looked again. I was like, it says 5/5. What's going on? But I went to FX and I went to Hulu and it wasn't uploaded there. So, I mean, no shade to FX. I do really appreciate the opportunity to give me these screeners, but that is why I recapped them at the same time. But I said, hey, this is such a great series. I just want to come back and I'll recap episode 5 again, all by itself. But of course, at the end of episode 4, things was falling apart and things were just not really looking good with Death Row and Tupac. And I love everything that Snoop had to say in this episode. But before we jump there, I love the way it started off with Afeni Shakur going to Clark University in Atlanta in 2004 to talk about her spirituality. And the book that was written, they thought by her, but it was by Jasmine Guy. And it was just so nice that she wanted to write a book about the whole story of not necessarily Tupac, but of Afeni, her life, all the ups, all the downs, all the trauma and struggle and strife that she had to go through. She really wanted to put that story out there. Said that she attempted to do this in 1995, but things didn't work out, but she was finally able to get this information out there. And that's the way the episode started, but it also ended that way as well with Afeni Shakur. I believe she was still at Clark University singing the songs about the 5 women, we who believe in freedom. It was wonderful. That was a great way to cap things off, especially with the editing of this episode too. I mean, this really the whole series, and the way that Allen Hughes had her throwing up her fists and had some of the written words on the page that was on the screen and it was like blended together. I like that. That was a very, very nice touch, along with Allen Hughes shaking the hands and parting ways with everybody that participated in the documentary, whether that was his cousin Jamala, his auntie Glow, Mike Tyson, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, his old managers. Just I like seeing him going around and dapping everybody up. That with Afeni singing in the background. Great way to start the episode and a great way to end the episode. And this is, I mean, I haven't seen every documentary out there, but I will say that this was one of the best. And so there's a team out there, Allen Hughes and everybody, great job, great job, great job. I will go ahead and say this, me watching this series has inspired me to work on another project that I want to upload on my YouTube channel. For it to be relevant, it won't be ready until 2024, but I am excited about it. And if you see this episode, when I do release it, you'll know what I'm talking about here. So even as a child, I remember hearing all the rumors, all the hoopla, all the speculation about everything that was going on at Death Row between Snoop, Suge, and Tupac himself, that it just really wasn't panning out and he wanted to get out of there. I could be making it up, but I think I do remember kind of hearing about all the drama back in the day. And right after the intro with the book and Afeni, Allen is asking his cousin Jamala, hey, Tupac is afraid of Suge, he's afraid of Death Row, and he don't want to leave. I love the way she came in there like, what, who you talking about? Scared about what, Tupac? Oh, no. 2 weeks before the fight, this man was salivating at the mouth, veins popping out like, I'm done with Death Row. I don't want to deal with him no more. I fulfill my obligation. I fulfill my contract. I'm trying to get out of there. And that really did stood out to me because just a little bit later when we're talking about the death of Tupac, I believe it was one of his older managers that said the last photo that she saw of Tupac in the car with him in the passenger seat, he was just sitting right there and Suge was looking with his hand on the steering wheel, looking straight. And she said it was painful or very eerie or some word she says that she can't get out of her head. And she was just wondering, okay, if he knew about it. I do remember, again, a lot of rumors and speculations going around saying that it was possibly an inside job. But at the same time, they go to the fight. Jamala saying that they're in the limo or the car with the magazines, with the blunts, with the cigarettes, with the orange soda or whatever beverage they had. I don't remember exactly. And that Tupac did not want to kick it with them. The fight ended in the first round and Tupac was just so riled up and being barbaric, saw a Crip by the name of Orlando Anderson, accused him of something and jumped him, and apparently that's just a no-no. Jamal is saying that people over in the West Coast, or just really anywhere that is about that gang life, they take this very seriously, and you just don't do that. That's crossing a line. So rest in peace, Tupac. I mean, hindsight is 2020. I was just kind of saying to myself, thinking, okay, all of these rumors are going on about how he met his demise, but it may have been brought on himself, because he did want to just stomp somebody out randomly, or if he had a valid reason in the middle of everywhere where everybody can see, somebody's going to retaliate. I'm not trying to say that Tupac deserved what he got, but this is new information that I was not keen to until after watching this documentary. However, it still is possible. Well, no, I don't even want to say that. Well, the one person in the documentary did ask, okay, hey, did Suge Knight know about it? Was he involved? Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't there. I was just a little lad at the time. But anything is possible, okay? I don't want to just rule anything out. Maybe he did know. Maybe he wanted to help them out. Like, oh, he jumped y'all? Well, I'm mad at him for leaving death row, so let me put him in this position right here to be possibly taken out. Again, I don't know, but it's just really interesting seeing all of these new pieces of information coming in to help piece together this puzzle like this. But at the same time, Tupac knew himself that he probably had a target on his back if he's so concerned with wearing a bulletproof vest everywhere you go. I don't know, me, myself, I would just fall back if I was that paranoid, if I was just that scatterbrain. I don't know. If I feel like I have to be wearing a bulletproof vest everywhere I go, I need to look in the mirror and say, hey, is there something that I'm doing that's attracting this type of behavior? But again, you know, hindsight is 2020. When I was 25 years old, I wasn't the sharpest knife or tool in the toolbox myself. So, and it was also nice to see Mike Tyson talk about the relationship that he had with Tupac, their similarities and differences. They both went through things growing up, but were still cut from two different cloths. Mike brought up the fact that he was bullied. He was a chubby kid. Couldn't speak that well. I remember hearing and seeing that in the Hulu documentary. But the guy ripped off the head of the pigeon and Mike Tyson just went crazy and beat the crap out of him and everybody started cheering, and that's how he got addicted to fighting. Said that he got his dick on hard. Like, wow, that's quite interesting right there. So he can possibly understand why Tupac was all riled up and wanted to go jump somebody. But, you know, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. But it was sad to either hear Afeni or Glow, his auntie, have one of the last memories of him acting out of character, jumping somebody. When that security video footage was on the screen, showing him getting in a fight, getting in an altercation, you can tell she was shook. Just saying, oh my God, what happened? What got you here? What are you trying to prove and to who? This is not who you are. What happened? And he just had some hole that he was trying to fill. And it ended up possibly costing him his life. Even towards the end of this episode, you saw how painful it was for Glow and Afeni to talk about the loss of her son, the loss of her nephew. At Glow, at one point, a few times in this episode, she said that Tupac was her light, her shining star, or something close to that effect. Or she was at least depending on him and respected him, and he provided all this and provided all that, and then that was just taken away. No parent should have to bury their child, and that does happen a lot. Afeni had to go through that. He was at the hospital. Everybody was concerned. Snoop came in there as well, tried to speak to his spirit. That was nice, but he died. And Glow was kissing on him, and they didn't want to make any announcement. They ran out of there, didn't want to get in the press. And she talked about, because towards the end of this, how adamant she was to get Afeni and Tupac's story out the right way, saying that they had to die for the story to get out. And she feels that she did a great job. And she was very emotional. And like I said, you can tell that it was very difficult for her. But she went on to say, yes, like I was just saying, that not just her, but a lot of mothers lose their children to gun violence. And it was extra hard for Afeni because towards the end, she did not have any peace. She had regrets for a lot of the decisions she made, raising Tupac, things that she did do, things that she didn't do. And that was probably one of the things that set a fire under her ass to work so hard and to continue his legacy, especially talking about Thug's Mansion, how that is an opportunity for the youth for resources and development that are trapped in situations that they didn't make themselves. That's wonderful. And it's funny, today people talk down on rap and it's rap culture that leads to this and violence, etc. But this man is up here rapping about saving his people, Thug Mansion, reaching the youth, all of that. It's crazy, the narrative that spends some time on groups, organizations, people, etc. over the number of years in media and entertainment. But again, I also just love seeing other artists that are as good, not as good, but in the same realm of talent and professionalism. Example, Eminem coming through. I spoke about this when I tried to recap it last time, of the music that they used when he came in to give his 2 cents. And I loved it. I tried to Shazam it and look it up so I can tell you guys and also jam it myself, but it wouldn't work. But man, when Eminem was coming through, when he was giving his dialogue, whatever beat that was playing at that point in time was fire. All of the music in this whole series was fire. But this song in particular, this song specifically, it was dope as hell. It was dope. And I just like the fact that Eminem had so many positive things to say about Tupac. Like, he's the only rapper that can make you cry. I loved all that. I love hearing it. But then as they're telling this story, going back to Tupac and Afeni, it was hard for her. Everybody's hitting her up, Jamala up, Glow up. Is Tupac really dead? What's going on? Is he really alive? Are you hiding him? He got 10 albums worth of music. How is he still making music? That's what Eminem was saying. And I remember when I was a child, he's still coming out with music. I remember somebody yelling that at me in like elementary or junior high, however I was at the time. Unless, I don't know, my mind is playing tricks on me right now. This does reflect a little bit, in my brain right now of, what was going on back then. But this is crazy. Did this man feel that he was about to die and want to make the song, want to make the album, I'm Not Mad at You? And this is nuts. The video that we see in this episode, it looks like he's in heaven, a bunch of black people, white clouds, white ground, white background, white suits on. And it's like, whoa, and they're playing this like right after they're talking about his death. And everybody's commenting on it as well. Towards the end, a number of people were saying Tupac, Snoop was one of them, just saying that he did not see himself living a long life. He felt that he just had to write a book like, yes, I'm going to write a book about my life, the life of Tupac, raised by the Panthers and neglected and yada, yada, yada. And he was speaking about that when he was 17 years old in high school, a junior. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like, he just knew he was going to die. That's horrible. Like, man, all of my work is going to be done after I'm gone. That just kind of just shows what type of man he is. And I forgot the other gentleman's name. He spoke a lot in episode 1 and 2. He said that he spent a lot of time with Afeni during her last years in the houseboat, and they got close and just was talking about a number of things. And then just me backing up just a little bit. Afeni, they was in LA, didn't think that they was going to have to move, that they was going to stay there, figured out that Tupac did not own everything that he thought he owned, and they got out of there. And she found a houseboat, and that was her healing for everything. And she doesn't need that. Just talking about all the depression and anxiety and addictions and trauma that she went through. Everybody needs healing. And I'm glad that she was able to get that. But the gentleman that was there helping out, that tried to resuscitate her, and that was a pretty good emotional moment right there. We're just talking about the type of people that Mutulu was, that Tupac was, that when there was a shooting, they would jump in over the bodies of Suge or ladies at the church. That's just who they were. For him to say that at the time of the passing, man, that was really effective. But to my recollection, to my memory, Tupac was a great man. He really was. He cared about his people and he would not give up on them. I like the part where Snoop was saying that everybody was like, man, fuck that bitch, talking about his girlfriend at the time, but it's now his wife. But Tupac is saying like, hey man, that woman loves you and you love her. You need to make her your wife. That's dope. You need people like that in your life. This man wanted to make peace with death. That was crazy. As I Ain't Mad at You is playing, he's talking to the interviewer, just saying, hey, people are really selfish with death. At worst, they're at peace. I guess he doesn't believe in hell. I don't know, but he's at peace. Just sleep somewhere. Nothing is going on. But at best, he's in another realm, kicking it with God and the angels and all that. How's that a bad thing? The only people that are upset are the people that's left behind. Said that that's a crazy analogy or a way to look at it. But man, I can't do nothing but respect it. And that's who this man was. And then you got Thug Mansion, Afeni and Glow fighting over the rights to all of his music and properties. And they was able to buy 54 acres of land. I love that. Heard your boy coming through, the Proud of the Panther. I love that as well. I mean, this was just a great episode overall. And like I said at the very beginning of this, it ended with Afeni singing the song and the book by Jasmine God, We Who Believe in Freedom. That was very nice. That was very nice. And I'm inspired to know and learn more. And I'm really glad that Allen Hughes was able to put this documentary together. My brother, you did an amazing job at this. Great job. Excellent job. 2 thumbs up. Be proud of yourself, sir. But Glow, if you're watching this, I doubt it. I want to let you know that you did a great job of continuing to tell the story of Tupac and his mother, Afeni Shakur, your younger sister. It's too bad that she's not here anymore, but she's not in pain anymore at all. She's not stressed out. No more regrets. She's in peace. And I appreciate your contribution to this project with Hulu and FX. I'm very proud of you and everybody else involved. But guys, again, this was a great episode, episode 5, until the end of time. You guys let me know what you thought about the series, or if you're just watching this, you don't care about spoilers or anything like that. What did you think about this episode, this series? I am dying to know in the comment section. Also, let me know what was your favorite episode, if any at all. I'm very, very curious. But guys, again, help me reach my next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. If you do, you'll get movie reviews, spoiler movie reviews, series reviews, a weekly movie news roundup show, a weekly superhero comic book show, and me discussing, recapping, reviewing some of my favorite shows that are streaming right now, like Power, Book 2 Go Season 3, of course, Dear Mama, Bel Air Season 2, trailer reactions, some interviews, and other cool videos as well. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.